Hi, and welcome to episode 20 of the PassioKnit Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. I do have a group up on Ravelry for this podcast, and we have a shawl knit along going on, so please come on over and join. You still have time until the end of May to enter your finished objects. There is a blog where you can find the episodes and some very partial show notes every week, and thank you so much for being here. Okay, what I'm wearing today, hand knit socks. I'm not going to show you, I'm not that agile right now, so nothing to show. But knitting in the past, I did finish the Milo vest that I showed last week. Of course the ends are not woven in, but I did finish the knitting. I used my own hand spun that I spun a few years ago during Tour de Fleece, I think. It's from a Fat Cat Knits roving. I did knit the second to smallest size to get a top for a 2-year-old because my yarn is way thicker than the pattern calls for. And except for that, I did everything the pattern said. It's a great pattern. I'm definitely gonna knit more Milo vests. So that's it for knitting in the past. I knit this on a US 9, which is a 5.5mm needle, and I'm just super happy with it. I love the striping of the yarn. It's really, really nice. So, and that is it for knitting in the past. But I do have tons of projects going right now, so let's jump into knitting in the present. I'm working on my paper moon socks. I showed them last week. And I'm very, 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 very upset right now because this was the state of things last week for both the socks. This is the Paper Moon pattern by Anne-Lena Mattisson. It's a free pattern in Knitty. I'm using a US 2 like I always do with socks. That's the sole, the top of the foot, with the cable pattern, and I stopped working the foot where the pattern suggested to, go on to knitting the gusset and the heel. As I'm not a toe-up person, I did exactly what the pattern said because I don't want to fudge stuff when I don't know what I'm doing. So I did. I started the gusset, which starts here, exactly where the pattern said I should for my foot size. And this sock is way too big. I wear a German 38, which is I think a 8 US. This is a German 42, which is 4 sizes larger than I would need. And it's I think an American 11, something like that, 10, 11. So those socks will go in the gift pile. Gizmo, bitte schmeiß nix Schatz. I have my camera tripod stuck on top of my laptop, and when the cat is here, I'm just so afraid that he will knock everything over. Kannst du mal bitte weggehen? So ist brav. Okay. Back to the socks. They will go in the gift pile. I'm very upset because I love the pattern, I love the yarn. I'm not ripping back. Not at all. Because if I do that, I would have to cut out about that much from the sole of the foot, and then my sock would look like this. But it's toe, a little bit of pattern, and then it goes into the gusset. Just no. So those socks are in the naughty corner right now. I don't really want to work on them. But it's okay because I don't need them right away, so someday they will get done. But right now I'm just mad. But my other works in progress are making me very happy, so I'm gonna jump into those. I'm working on 2 shawls right now. First off is the Death of the Moon pattern by Josh Ricks, who's the Sort of a Knitter podcast host. It's a half circular shawl, which you can see a little bit here of the shape. I'm using my own hand spun, paired with Drops Alpaca from Very, Very Deep Stash. So I like how it's coming along. I do not like the endless rows that you have, but I'm loving the shawl, so I'm gonna power through. This is my handspun yarn. I know lighting isn't good today, but I'm not in the mood to fudge with anything, so here's my handspun. I spun this from a Snurp yarn top. I'm not sure if I have the, yeah, I do. Here's the tag. It's like I said, Snurp yarn. It's not good to see because it's so light. Her shop is at snurpyarn.com, and it's the colorway Storm Along Harbor. It's a superwash, no, not superwash, super fine merino that I spun into this 2-ply barber pole, and I have exactly 303 yards, and the pattern calls for 300 yards in this color. So I hope this will work out. Gizmo, bitte geh weg. Hopp. Aufs Fensterbrett. So. Nein. Oder gehen. Nein. Du. Entweder aufs Fensterbrett oder Abflug. Hopp. Geh. Geh. He's not leaving my side. He's like glued to me. Jetzt. Was soll denn jetzt das? Now, perfect. We'll see how that works out. He's right in front of me. Whoop. Sorry. Here. Cat. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Okay. Now, back to my shawl. I have completed, I think, 5 sections. 6. I don't know. It's coming along great. I love it. It's gonna be very pretty in the end, but I hope I will not run out of this yarn because, like I said, pattern calls for 300 yards. I have 303 yards, and I just hope that Josh did estimate the yardage with quite a lot of, give. The next thing on my needles is another shawl. It's the Quaking Aspen shawl by Calburn Woolens. I'm super far, as you can see. I just did start it. It's again my own hand spun. And I'm gonna pair this again with Drops Alpaca from my stash. And I think this green with the royal purple will look amazing. And I'm gonna try and show you a pattern picture, but I only have printed it out in black and white, so it's not super fancy. Looks like this. It's a free pattern download on Ravelry, so if you want to go and check it out, it's really, really nice. It's super easy, has an applied edging. So until I get to that, it's just simple shawl shaping. The last thing on my needles is a scrap cowl or a loop that I started just to have something super duper brainless on the needles because it's just stuck in it and around. And this is what it looks like so far. I just cast on 120 stitches with a US 3, and I'm using all my self-striping sock yarn leftovers randomly attached to each other. So this down here with the black and blue is Friday Studios, and this one here up on the top that I just attached is Lollipop yarns. These are the yarns that I'm planning on using. Whoop. So those are all my self-striping leftovers. We'll see how far that will get me. Maybe I just have to knit some more pairs of socks to get more yarn. We'll see how it works. Okay, knitting in the future. I don't have anything written down because I have so many things on the needles right now, and I really don't feel like planning ahead. I don't know. I just, whenever I want to cast something on, I'm going to cast it on, and that's it. I don't want to plan anything right now. So there's nothing in that section. Next up is spinning, and I do have spinning, and I'm very, very happy about it. I couldn't sit on my spinning wheel for weeks because it did hurt my belly too much. But I started, or I did try last week because I really, really wanted to get back into spinning. And it didn't hurt my belly at all. So I did start and got quite a lot of spinning done in the time. So here is the first bobbin that I spun. The color is okay when I hold it back here. It's different shades of gray with brown and cream. It's I think a superwash merino from Felt Studio UK. I spun it quite thin. Don't know if you can see it at all. And it's gonna be a combo 3-ply that I'm gonna ply with this bobbin. It's the second bobbin that I spun, and you cannot see the color at all. It's a light minty turquoise. So I have those two. And I just spun up the third bobbin yesterday. The color is awful. It's again a light minty turquoise with a little bit of blue with some yellows, some grays, and I did add in, as you can see, maybe back here, a little bit of pink and purple to just have a little pop of color, and those three will be plied together. Just not right now, because although I am in a spinning mood, I don't want to ply anything, so this will have to wait. But I already know what I'm going to do with it. I will knit the bolting pattern by Stephen West out of this when it's done, because it's 300 grams at least of a combo 3-ply that I did spin quite thin, and I'm gonna spin more of that solid mint for the last pattern part, just to have a nice solid border on the shawl. So that's the first thing that I spun. 3 bobbins for a 3-ply combo. I did spin this on my Michi. It's a German manufactured spinning wheel, and yeah, I love how it turned out so far. Those colors are quite good. So that's the first thing. Oh, Gizmo. I'm so sorry. He just knocked it over. First time I knocked it over, now he did. Jetzt geh ich. Abflug. Ab. So. We'll see how that works out. Okay. The next thing on my wheels is a just normal 2-ply. Again, out of a roving from Felt Studio UK. Her shop is on Etsy. She has amazing things in her shop. A lot of fiber, a lot of hand spun. And I have to sit a little bit different. I chose a superwash merino. She does not name her colorways. Now it's out of focus. Oh man. I don't care. I'm gonna show you stuff close up. So this is the second half of the roving, or the top that I still have to spin up. I just divided it in 4 little bumps because I thought about doing a fractal, but the roving was dyed so differently in both parts that it's just not important. So that's the second half. That's the first half. I spun this yesterday. I'm gonna hold it back here because the further I go up, the more washed out the color is. This part had a lot of yellows and blues. This one again has a lot of blues, but there's also some nice orange and purple, and it's just gonna make a very, very fun yarn. And I'm gonna knit a pair of socks out of it. I hope I will get enough yardage. But I, again, did spin it quite thin. I'm gonna hold it here, so maybe you can see it a bit. And I plan on spinning the second half today. So, yay for spinning. I'm so glad that I'm able to spin again. I really did miss it. I don't know when I'm gonna apply any of this, because right now, like I said, I'm just in a spinning mood and I don't want to apply, but that's fine. Someday it will get done. Okay, new stuff. I do have 2 small things in my new stuff section. I got a skein of yarn. I'm gonna hold it back here. It's from Nomadic Yarns. I'm gonna try and show you. Her shop is on Etsy. And I got a skein of hand-dyed self-striping yarn in the, I think it's called If You Play the Game of Thrones. When You Play the Game of Thrones. In her trusty sock, which is a superwash merino and nylon blend. And I'm going to knit a pair of socks for my husband out of this, because he loves the Game of Thrones. He read all the books, he loves the series. I still have only watched season 1. I really wanted to watch the other seasons now that I'm just sitting home, but it's too brutal for me right now. I can't stand it, so I will watch it sometime later. This is amazing. It has a ton of colors and it's just pretty. And I also got my Three Waters Farm Top of the Month Club. This time it's Targi, which I have never spun before. The colorway is Spring in My Heart, and it is very, very nice. Again, I would not have chosen this by myself. I wouldn't have bought it for me. It totally reminds me of Monet's Water Lilies, just, you know, as a very, very bright version of it, or an intense version of it. Yeah. I look forward to spinning this because, like I said, I've never spun Targi before. So this is gonna be an experience for me. That's it for new stuff. A skein of yarn, a bump of fiber, and that really should be enough for 1 week. So, that brings me to my Indie of the Week. I do have an Indie of the Week finally, because, like I said, I started this scrap project here, and the first yarn, this one you can see right now, is from Friday Studios. Friday Studios is a hand dyeing business. She's based in Sweden, and I have some more of her leftover of her yarn in here that are leftovers from socks. This one here was called Science Fiction. Then I have those leftovers. Bergakungens Saal, I think that's how you say it. I think it's a street name. I did socks for my husband out of those, of both of those. And I do have kiwi for the fruit. And I knit socks for myself out of this. So, go check out Friday Studios. She has super nice hand-dyed yarns. She does project bags. She has some experimental dyeing going on right now with ice and snow. So, it's very cool stuff. Check it out. Okay, that leaves me with everything else, and I don't have a lot of everything else this week. My husband brought me back a sewing magazine. It's called Simply Nähen, which means simply sewing. It's a very new magazine. This is the very first issue, and I love it. I subscribed to it right away. He brought it back, I checked it out, and I subscribed to it because I'm really in love with this. There are a ton of nice patterns in here. What I really like about it, I'm gonna try to show you, is how they do stuff. No. They have picture tutorials for every single pattern in here. So if you're a relatively new sewer, you can totally work those patterns because they are simple to work because of the pictures for every step. So I did sew baby booties out of this magazine, which I just showed you. The first pair looks like this. I don't know. It's a very nice fabric that you cannot see at all. It's amazing. I did do those, as the pattern says, with just some normal cotton fabric. The pattern suggests to use 2 fat quarters to seam up those booties, and I did use leftovers that I had just laying around. I'm gonna try. Yeah, that is the fabric. It's green with those yellow dots. I really like it, but those they are just made out of cotton with no interfacing or anything, so they are super floppy, and I wanted to have a pair of booties that are just a bit more substantial. So I made a second pair, which I have a weird thing going on here, and they look like this. I made them out of leftover denim on the top. The sole of the shoe is cut from an old pair of jeans from my husband. I do have a sewing machine that is able to embroider, so I did embroider the ship and the flags, and I used for the lining, I used some dark blue polar fleece. So those are warm and just sturdy compared to this one, as you can see. If I hold them like this one's just not, it's super floppy, and this one's just very nice. So I have no idea what size they are. They're just in that one size, so whenever they fit him, they will fit him. And if he really started walking by then, I'm just gonna put on some I don't know the word, so it doesn't, the shoes aren't that slippery. Gonna put some stuff on here, maybe some latex, that he can walk around in those little booties. So that's my sewing for this week. I made those 2 little pairs of booties. I'm very happy with them. I like both of them, but I would totally do it like this and not like that, because they are just too flimsy. I don't know if that's a word, but yeah. Okay, like I said, that's it for sewing, and that's it for the show. I don't have anything else to talk to you about. I'm just going to mention the shawl knit along again. Please come on over, join the knit along. It's open until the end of May. There will be a hand sewn project bag by me and a skein of German indie dyed yarn as a prize. And yeah, you can enter every shawl that you finish by the end of May. I don't care when you started it, because I have tons of stuff on my needles, and I want you to be able to include every shawl that you finish in April and May. So go ahead and do that. Also, I don't know when I will be recording again. Today is the official due date for our baby. As you can see, I'm still sitting here. I'm still pregnant, so no baby yet, but I don't know if that will change soon or not so soon. So I suspect there won't be an episode next week at all, maybe for the next 2 weeks. But then I will come back to you and hopefully have some things to show. I don't know how life will change with a baby, so we'll figure out. And the only thing that's left to say for now is have a wonderful time. I don't know, like I said, when I will talk to you again, but I will talk to you again. And until then, enjoy everything you do. Bye.